Hey guys, welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be making a nettle infused soap. I have all my equipment here for infusing my oil in the nettle. And I also have the nettle over here. I've been loving infusing oils and working with those herb botanical infused oils in my soap making. So I thought, let's keep going with that. Let's keep making more and more botanical things. I have these 16-ounce mason jars that I'm going to be infusing the sunflower oil that I'm going to be using in my soap with. I hope that made sense. But I also have other jars over here because I want to simultaneously be infusing other herbs, or I want to use other herbs to make other oil infusions so that I can make them in my other stuff down the line. Just gonna open up my jar here. And if it isn't obvious, I'm making a hot infusion, meaning that the infusion will be ready to soap with today. Ideally, you want to use cold infusions, but I definitely think I'm going to get better at that the more I do it. So to make my nettle leaf oil infusion, I'm going to be taking a 16-ounce mason jar. I'm going to tear that, and then I'm going to add my botanical into the jar. Today we are using beautiful nettle leaf. This is probably going to get everywhere. That is okay. Now we're going to add our oil, and for this infusion I'm using sunflower oil. I'm just going to fill up the whole jar to the top. I'm going to stir here to release any of the bubbles that are inside or any trapped air. But yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to be making soap that requires more sunflower oil than this, so I'm going to do a couple more jars, and then I will be back in just a second. So once you have your jar full of oil and the botanical that you're wanting to use, then you can shake it after screwing the lid on tightly, of course, otherwise it'll get all over you. So screw it tightly and then shake. Make sure all of that oil is touching all of that botanical. And then we're going to set it into our crock pot to cook in low heat for at least 2 hours. So my soap definitely needs more oil than that. So I'm going to do a couple more jars, and then hopefully everything will be ready to soap with in the afternoon. So for this soap, I'm going to be using my tallow soap recipe base, which I've fallen in love with. It's amazing. I've stuck with the same or a very similar soap recipe for a very, very long time, and have just recently swapped to this because the soap that I made earlier in the year was like a lemon apple blossom soap. That has quickly become the best soap I've ever made. My favorite one that I love so much. And I just wanted to share that with the world in terms of selling the soap and also sharing the formula with you guys. It's not a 100% tallow soap recipe. There's still some good, there's different oils in it for sure. I do want to try a 100% tallow soap recipe someday, but I just have been blown away by this one. So the reason why I wanted to make a nettle soap is because I heard that nettle is really good for skin conditions like eczema, like psoriasis. It's very gentle. It also helps to soothe. And now I'm not making any medical claims, but I just wanted to see if that was going to be my experience of skincare that includes this kind of botanical in it. When it comes to selling soap like this, you really want to make sure that you're not making medical claims. That's not allowed. But if you're making soap for gifts or your own use, then your experience is your experience. No one can take that away from you. I will say that the majority of the soap recipe is tallow. Another reason why I've been looking into nettle and researching nettle a little bit more is because of its ability to naturally color soap green. Also doing a hot infusion, probably not for the full 6 hours that I wanted to, probably closer to 3. But I want to see what infusing sunflower oil with nettle for 3 hours does in terms of natural color. This is going to be a few colors though. I'm going to split the soap batch into 2, and half of that is going to be just the infused oil. And then for the second half of it, I think I'm going to add some spirulina, some other colors. I'm also switching up my soap making technique here. So this is the soap of the month soap that I'm making right now. I don't know why I stuck with this technique for so long, but usually if I were to make a soap for my soap of the month and I needed to make a certain number of bars, I would use my long soap molds, the Winston and Walter soap molds. And I would treat each log separately, like it was its own little separate soap batch, even though I was making the same soap across all of the logs. What I've seen other soap makers do is they just make a big batch of soap and then they fill in their molds as they go along. You'll see what I mean in a second. It absolutely looks like it's way faster than what I've been doing. And a lot of the things that I've been doing in terms of my soap process is the reason why I stick to them for so long is because I'm always rushing. I'm always just trying to get it done, which actually is ironic since it takes me longer to do that. But I guess I'm set in my ways a little bit, and it's really hard for me to change up my process. It takes a really long time for me to convince myself to move on and try something new if something is working. So this is going to be an exciting experiment to see if it goes well. And that's another reason why I've been loving tallow, is because it makes my soap batter move so slowly that I have time to make these adjustments and to react to anything that could possibly be going wrong. Now, I don't know if this essential oil fragrance oil combination is going to turn my soap into soap on a stick. I don't know that yet either. Because whether your soap base includes tallow or not, if the fragrance oil is going to cause your soap to accelerate, it's going to do that. I decided to make March's soap of the month soap, this forest or springtime in Washington foresty kind of theme, because I've just been inspired by what's been going on around me. I know it's February still, but we're starting to get a little bit warmer weather. It's a beautiful sunny day. I know it doesn't look like that right now, but the sun is coming out, the days are getting longer, and I've just been so inspired by Washington, by living here. And I made the pillar candles in the Northern, I think it's called Northern Woods scent by Mo Rouge. I've fallen in love with that scent, and I need other people to smell it so that they know what I'm talking about. I really wanted to make a soap in that scent, and I think it's a very nice, fresh, springtime scent that isn't too feminine, isn't too floral. I think it leans more masculine now that I'm thinking about it. I'm very excited to highlight Nettle and to package it in this soap design for my soap of the monthers, my Golden Bubble patrons, and also share with you guys the recipe so that you can make it at home yourselves. That is a lot of tallow. Okay, so I'm going to put it into my espresso pot to start to melt down. And then I also have to melt down some coconut oil in here as well. And I'm going to measure out my liquid oils and show you what the next step is after that. So the hot infusion is done, and you can see here how green that already looks. And as much as I want to keep it going, I really have to start making soap. So this is the best it's going to be for now. I'm going to give it a quick shake. One last quick shake. I was able to get more of the gunk out with that one, so let's try this. Yeah, there we go. There's that gunk. Get all of it. So here's the infused sunflower oil, and you can definitely tell that it's a lot greener than when it first started. At least the sunflower oil that I buy, it's pretty colorless. It's a little yellow, just a slight tinge of yellow, but yeah, it's looking more like olive oil now. So I need to add this oil into my other oils, which are in this big bucket here. So everything has cooled down and I am ready to make some soap. All right, so here are my oils. I'm gonna add my lye water. And before I start blending, I'm going to add my clay. Now I'm going to stick blend it all together. All right, so my soap is all blended together. I'm just gonna start separating it now. I'm going to separate about half of the soap. This is going to be my base color for all 3 loaves that I'm making today. So to this, I'm gonna add my fragrance oils. Here's my blend over here. Then I'm gonna start stick blending everything together. As you can see, it's starting to sit up on me. Must be the fragrance oil, because my experience with tallow so far has been absolutely slow. All of my batters have been very, very slow moving. See if it's all even. Seems to be. That's a surprise. Should probably start to work a little faster. Wow, that was an extremely messy pour. Oh my goodness. It's coming together. Soap is getting into the mold. That's a good sign. Look at how bad this is. Oh my goodness. Just get it in there. It's really all I want. Get in the mold. Soap. Okay, we're in the home stretch. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. There we go. Swirlies are done. You know, when I saw how quickly the base color set up, I thought for sure I'm not going to be able to get Q-tops. Oh well, next time. But look, the tops look so cute. Sometimes I don't like the swirls, how they come out, so I have to go back again. My swirls have to look like, you know, chonky. That is the goal. All right, look at this. All right. So for toppings, I'm going to use these beautiful chamomile flowers to go with the whole soothing vibe. I'm going to actually measure it, because they're kind of big flowers. I don't know. I'm a little nervous. A little thicker than an inch. Let me grab a ruler. Should probably make life easier on myself and make these markings on the actual mold. I'll get to it eventually. Someday. All right, let's set up this ruler. You know what? No, this is too much. I'm just going to put these flowers in random spots. Then just hope for the best. This one was so stressful. I was a little panicked. I think we're gonna make it, guys. I think we are going to end up with a pretty cool looking soap. Once I became wise that although the soap seemed pretty fluid in the beginning, it's gonna start setting up and start to set up fast. With that knowledge, I was able to work with the second half of the soap, and that's also another reason why I only sent half the batch to start, because stuff like this could happen and you're like, oh my gosh. I'm gonna place the big ones carefully, and then there's these smaller ones that I can just go wherever. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna impale some of these guys in the cut. Oh well. Then I'm gonna finish these off with some cornflowers. This soap's color palette is so beautiful. I think it matches the forest and spring vibe that I'm trying to go for here. Now that I'm adding this finishing touch, I think this was a success, even though there were some dicey moments. I'm pretty sure we've got ourselves a finished soap here. Hey guys, it is the next day and I'm going to unmold these soaps and get them cut. I already unmolded one, well, still in its silicone mold here. But can you see how messy this soap making session was? It was probably my messiest, and I think it's because I was panicking. I was trying to get all that soap in the mold before it seized completely, although it ended up being fine. I think I kind of pushed the time a little bit with the base color, which is why it set up so fast. I didn't know it was going to do that, okay? Because my experience with tallow has been, oh, it moves too slow. Just covered in soap. I usually don't have to wash these molds, but definitely after this soaping sesh. Oh wow. Oh wow. That is so interesting. Huh. I'll bring you closer in just a bit, but there's light little speckles throughout the soap, and I believe those are the small bits of nettle that made it through the cheesecloth. The sides of the soap look beautiful, by the way. When I first used that brown mica, I thought that it looked a little too brown, and I'm very pleased to see that it lightened up, but I don't know how it's gonna look like once I cut into the soap. Last loaf, last one. So you can see throughout the soap, there's these little flecks, and that's definitely the nettle that got through the cheesecloth. But I think it's really pretty. And look at the tops. I'm just so proud of these soap tops. They look absolutely beautiful. Oh my God, so beautiful. Okay, I love how this turned out. It looks like there's a little heart right there. Oh my goodness, this is so pretty. Okay, this turned out absolutely gorgeous. And it smells amazing. It's such a subtle and sophisticated look. Wow. The brown has lightened up to kind of a mauvey gray, like a brownish color. Sorry, not a brownish color, a purplish color. Little mini loaf. beautiful. Again. Oh my gosh, look at this one. Oh, gorgeous. Love it. So here is a soap all cut, and as you can see, it turned out absolutely gorgeous. Look at these swirls. And yes, while the base set up really fast and I was literally throwing it into the mold, the thing about having a looser batter that comes next is that it's able to get into all of those crevices. And if you remember when I was making this soap, I was taking a spoon and just chunking it up just so that I can get these colors to go into that base color. And the effect is almost like a marbleized effect, which looks so beautiful. Oh, and I love, 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 love how it turned out, and it smells amazing. So that is the soap for today, and I am so happy that I took the plunge and tried out this new technique with the 3 molds, because I was able to make a lot of soap in a fairly short amount of time. So I think this is definitely a good change for my company. And remember, this is the soap of the month, so everyone who is a soap of the monther on my Patreon is guaranteed a bar, and any extra will be put up for sale on my website as of March 1st. So there probably won't be that many left, but I'm going to try something new starting April, where there might be a waiting list that you can sign up for on my website instead of having to sign up for my Patreon, and that way I know just how many people are interested in the soap so that I can plan more accordingly and have them be more available for all of you guys who want to try them. But just a quick reminder that being a soap of the monther on Patreon means you gain access to not only this recipe, but the recipes of all the recipes that I put up on Patreon, which is over 100 by now. I'm not sure how many exactly, but there is a lot, and they get better year after year. So it's not just a couple of recipes. You pay $5 and you only have access to just a limited amount. It's literally all of them throughout the years. So you can also see how I've evolved as a formulator, as a creator. And there's also lots of really good changes coming to the Patreon as well, which I will be announcing on there as of March 1st. So thank you to my community for being so patient with me, for rooting for me, for encouraging me, because now that I'm in this house and we are finally settled, really settled, I think this next year of my business is going to be one that really changes everything. And I'm so excited about that. So until the next video, keep smiling, keep being awesome, and I will see you in that next video. Bye guys.